Okay, it is 9 on the dot, and I see we have a couple more people who came in, so I appreciate that. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Naima Abdi, and I'll be moderating today's session on how to optimize Magento for Google with Daniele Rutigliano. Danielle is the founder and CEO of e-commerce agency OperaWeb and of the marketplace agency Account2Web. He is also the author of the books E-commerce Vicente and Magento, the first book in Italian on one of the most famous e-commerce platforms. He is also a university professor at LUM University and a speaker at Meet Magento Italy. So just wanted to welcome Danielle. Thank you so much. And if you wanted to get your screen shared so we can start the presentation, that would be amazing. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Naima. Thank you for your introduction. I share my screen. And today, I would like to discuss how to optimize Magento for Google. So this is the index of contents. In particular, I will discuss what is the CEO, because this is the main topic of this webinar. And after, I will talk about keywords tips, because it's linked to SEO and the Google Word. And after, I will give you some tips about URL, meta title, and meta description, H1, and in general description of a product of a catalog. And in the end, I will see the sitemap.xml, because it's very important for Google for the index in SERP. So first of all, I would like to discuss about the CEO. What is the CEO? CEO, according to moz.com, SEO is a set of practice designed to improve the appearance and positioning of a web page in organic search results. On the right, we can see a screen of Google, and the first position is paid snippet, paid ads. So it's another argument. But now we will see the organic results. So without ads text. And the main step is to find the main keywords, the keywords that you intended to put on the first position on Google. So the first step is to use a specific tool, for example, SEMrush, SEOZoom, Ubersuggest, to find the keywords. The second tips is to assign a main keyword for each page, because there is not a duplicate page for the same keywords. And after, you have to study a language of your audience. You can see on the right an image of a sink or a wash basin. The main problem is what is the best keyword for your audience. And for this question, we will use a software to calculate the best height volume or the volume of research of these keywords. But we will see in the next slide. And at the end, look at the search volume of the keywords, because it's very important to see how many people search this keyword. So we can see Ubersuggest a screenshot, and if you digit sync in search bar, you can see how many user try to search this keyword, and is very high. But if you put another slide and see a wash basin, you can see that volume is low. So basin sink is better of a wash basin. Ubersuggest is a free tool, so you can use without problem. Another aspect that we can see is the snippet. Snippet is the main aspect of Google, and snippet is composed by three elements. The first is URL in a green line, is the name of not the name, the input type that you digit in a URL in a bar of a browser. It's very important to find this page. The second element is meta title. And the meta description in red line are insert right in HTML codes. And after this, I will see in particular the URL. URL is acronym of a Uniform Resource Locator. This is an example. And my tips are to write the keyword in order of importance. So you can write, you have to write the first main keyword at the first position, after the second keyword, and at the end the brand name, without space, without elements, without symbol. So you have to have an URL like this. The second tips is to give every page a unique URL. It's very important for Google to give a specific URL. And at the end, you have to eliminate stop word, for example, the, and, or other words not important for Google. And if you use HTTPS protocol, SSL, it's very important for Google because it's the standard today. So you have to put the URL in secure base URL in Magento, in store, settings, configuration, and web option. After, I advise to put yes to use secure URLs on storefront, and yes to use secure URL in admin in backend. It's very important to give more security to your website. And another suggestion is to use a web server rewrites. The web server rewrites change the URL and transform it from a strange URL, the basic of Magento, in the friendly URL. You can change this option in store settings, configuration, general web search engine optimization, and change on yes, use web server rewrites, and advise to check if auto redirect base URL is put on yes 301 move permanently. It's very important because as if there is some problem from URL without view Magento redirect the user in the right URL, right domains. After this, I suggest to hidden the URL suffix. So you have to hidden .html, and to make this, you go in store configuration under settings, catalog and search engine optimization, and cancel. Put the blank space on product URL suffix, and in the same in the category URL suffix. In this way, the URL will be shorter. Next slide, I would like to discuss about canonical links, in general canonical link, and it is a way to telling search engine that a specific URL represent the master copy of a page. Using the canonical tags prevents problem caused by identical or duplicate content appearing of multiple URLs. Canonical links is very important when you use a pagination, when you have a catalog with a lot of pages, and you have to say to Google what is the main page, the most important page, the first page to see. And to turn this option, you can go to store, configuration, catalog, search engine optimization, and change the value in yes to the link use canonical link meta tag for categories and products. Both you put yes. It's very important. Another aspect is to check your meta title. The meta title is hidden to user, but it shows on SERP, on search engine results page. So some tips are to sort the keywords by importance. So you have to put primary keyword and secondary keyword, and after, in the end, the brand name. Remember, it's very important to change this rule linked to, in order to the language. For example, in Italian, there is not very important the sorting of the sorting of words is the same, but in some language, for example, English, there is some rules about the sorting. So another aspect to don't exceed 50 characters, because after Google cuts the words. It's not good for Google, and so you have to put the main keywords at the beginning of the meta titles. And so your meta title is to create manually. And in the end, give every page a unique title. For this function, you have to use a software, for example, Screaming Frog. In the next slide, I will show it. But attention, because Google may display a title that doesn't match what you have marked up in your HTML, because probably you wrote a not good meta title. So we will try to try to put a best meta title for user. And I usually check if my meta title is changed by Google, by Google. And next, you can check your meta titles with the Screaming Frog. Is a trial software, so you can use for a few URL. But in the tab meta title, you can see all your meta titles in your website. So in this way, you can check fastly all your meta titles, and you check the number of characters of them. It's very important to understand if you good for Google, if it is good for Google. Next, in the meta description is the same of meta title, so it is hidden for a user. And so you avoid duplicating meta descriptions and don't exceed 160 characters, and write the main keyword in the first position. This is a tips, very important for me. So you have to create a good meta description to get these results. In the same, Google may display a description that doesn't match what you marked up in your HTML. You can use a Screaming Frog in tab with the tab meta description. Check your meta description and your characters. And so check another aspect, another page of your Magento in contact, design, configuration, other settings, HTML head, because in this page we can find the default meta title and meta description. So if there are some pages without meta description or meta title, Magento will put this meta title, the meta description. It's not good for the CEO, but in some case could be a good opportunity to don't leave blank these fields. After we can see the metadata in a product page, in particular meta title and meta description. This is an example of products. So on the left tab, you can see search engine optimization, and you can see the meta title, the meta description, and the URL key. Check to flag create permanent redirection, create permanent redirect for old URL, because it's very important to doesn't create an error, or in particular the 404 error. It's a broken link for Google, because in this way you will lost all your work on Google. And after I will see the rich snippet. Rich snippet is different from the classic snippet, because there are new elements, for example, the stars of feedbacks, and the ratings, the review, and in some case, the price of your products. It's very important for e-commerce stores. So you can check if you then support rich snip with these tools, free tools of Google, search.google.com/test/rich-results. And if you digit your website, you can check if there are some problem with the rich snippet. But Google doesn't show the rich snippet could change in some case. Another aspect for SEO is the H1 tags. That is the name of a product, of the name of category. It's very important. It's different by meta title, because it is show in the page, so user will see this tag. So you can use the same format as the meta title. So you have to give every page a unique H1 tag, and check if you check in the HTML code that there are not other H1 tags. So you can use a browser on the right button of your mouse, view source, and try to search another H1 tags with the Control F. function. But you can use also Screaming Frog with the tab H1, and you check the occurrence of the number of H1 in the page. For example, in line 6, you can find 0. So in this page, there is not H1 tag. So you have to put in this page. And a common mistake is to put the H1 in description, in product description, with what you see, what you get form function. Some users, some e-commerce managers put a description with the H1 description in H1 in description. The results will be in the page. There are 2 H1 tags, and it's not correct for Google. So check your description of products. Another suggestion is to write the main keywords in the first paragraph of a product or category. Check the keyword density, so that the number of the times of a specific keywords appears. The good ratio, good number is 1%. And you can use the tool seoreviewtools.com/keyword density checker. Write at least 300 words per page, because a short page